You started in the military. Was that by force?
Yeah, it's by force. I even had two of my friends, like, they killed themselves in the military, yeah.
Moving to Dubai, how'd you build like a good, legit crew? Because there's a lot of bullshit people here.
Before I moved to Dubai, I knew someone here already. He's the one that convinced me to move to Dubai.
You've got a wild story. You got into personal development. You got into online money like 8 years ago or 7 years ago.
You cannot view money as evil. If you view money as evil, then you're dead. Because money is just a tool.
I need to ask about this because I find it so interesting. What about dating in Dubai? How'd you filter through the BS girls? Don't plug SEMA.
Most girls are pretty nice. I've not met like a bitch. Only one girl, she's like the first 5 minutes she asked me like, what car do you drive?
If it can make its own money,
The AI.
yeah, it's kind of scary.
It's a problem.
What's your thoughts on Elon Musk?
You know, Tesla is it's not a car company, it's a data company.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Welcome to Pandora's Box. We got Dan Khan here, who at the age of 27 is now $1 million in the last year alone. That's pretty cool. And you've got a wild story. You got into personal development. You got into online money like 8 years ago or 7 years ago.
Yes.
And you're in the military before that. So you've seen it all. You've kind of been growing through this ranks, not just like a recent, I saw money Twitter and how to make 10K with crypto. Like you've been in it for a while. You've been in the trenches. And now it's working for you, which is pretty cool. So in this episode of Pandora's Box, we're going to unbox his life, see what he thinks about wealth, relationships, health.
Everything.
We're just going to go into it and go from there. So why don't we start with you? You started in the military. Was that by force?
Yeah, it's by force. So in
Okay.
Singapore, it's like you have to serve 2 years in the military. Every guy has to do it. So if you're a girl, you
Can't tuck your...
No.
No.
No, it doesn't work like that.
It don't
in
work like
Singapore.
that?
Nope.
Well, worth asking. Worth
Yeah.
asking.
So
And what did you learn from that?
in the military, it's mainly like, so before I went in,
Yeah.
I fucking hated it, bro. Like I already knew I would hate it because I didn't like regimental shit, right? But the first day I went in, I fucking hated it even more, bro. Like I saw
Really?
everyone was just depressed. Like, I'm being forced into this shit. And then I realized like, okay, if I'm here, I might as well like try to enjoy myself. And then a few days pass, you have a group of guys stuck in an island. You can't go home. And then, bro, when guys are together for a long time, you know what we do, right? We just fuck around, just make jokes.
By the way, guys, Dan swears a lot. And by the end of the episode, he's going to stop swearing because I'm a hypnotist. I'm not a hypnotist, but he's going to
Am I
stop
not
swearing.
allowed to swear?
No. We both need to stop swearing. We both said it. Or do you want to keep swearing?
I want to keep swearing.
Okay, he's going to keep swearing. I'm going to stop
Yeah,
swearing.
you can be a bitch.
Alright,
I'm
fine.
just gonna.
I ain't being a bitch.
No, but
Alright, keep going.
Yeah, so I was. Yeah, so we were just a group of guys just
On
hanging
this
out.
island.
Then I realized, bro, this is so much fun, bro. I just wanted to
Just kiss the boys.
didn't get to that point yet. But we're just talking shit, right? Like
Yeah,
locker room talk
it's
every
fun.
day,
Yeah.
talking shit. I think the only people that hated the experience was people with like no friends.
Fine.
So if you're alone all the time, you're probably gonna be like very depressed. And I even had two of my friends like they killed themselves in the military. Yeah.
shit.
So it's really how you look at it and how you like take the experience. Different people have different experiences, but it taught me a lot about like discipline, accountability, teamwork. Even like just snitching on people.
They
So
taught you how to snitch?
No, it taught me not to. So even like in the military, we had like a buddy system, right? So everyone has like one other guy with you, and they had this thing where you're not allowed to smoke, okay, in like in the compound unless you're in some yellow box, okay. So some guys they would just go off on their own and just like smoke, right? And then some people are like so moral, like I don't know how to fuck to say that, like. And then they would snitch on their buddy that went to smoke. And then the sergeant would be like...
Nerds.
Yeah, exactly. And the sergeant would be like, okay, I'm going to punish him. But when he punished him, he punished everyone.
Yeah.
And then he said, why did you even tell me? Like, why did you snitch on your...
Your own teammates.
Yeah, your own fucking friend, right?
Yeah, terrible.
Exactly.
Slap
So even he did the wrong thing, but why?
Yeah.
Like you didn't need to snitch on him. So you learn a lot about like brotherhood and loyalty and discipline. But 2 years is a long time, man. Like it would have been fine with 1 year.
Are you in brotherhoods today? This isn't like a plug for the war room or something.
Yeah. So I'm actually secretly in the war room, and no, I'm just joking.
You might
No,
be.
no, I'm not. Brotherhood. I mean, I have my own.
Your own network.
Yeah, my own network. We don't call ourselves anything. We're just fucking friends, bro. Yeah.
And but you travel the world a lot, right?
I mean, I've been to a lot of places.
Okay, fine. But you base here.
I'm based here. Yeah, I don't really travel. I travel the world with my friends in Singapore.
Okay.
but they're not business owners. So.
Moving to Dubai, how do you build like a good, legit crew? Because there's a lot of bullshit people here.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of fake people, a lot of fraudsters. Like, who are those two brothers? They were like, oh, we make so much money on this.
Noah brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scammers, you know?
Yeah,
There's a lot of fake people out there.
Yeah.
How do you find the real ones?
So before I moved to Dubai, I knew someone here already. He was like my business partner,
Okay.
Philip. So he's the one that
Shout out.
yeah, Philip. Everyone, yeah, never mind. It's okay. Fuck him. So Philip Johansson, he's the one that convinced me to move to Dubai, because in Singapore I was stuck with like my friends. They weren't business owners. I'm very close with them, but like to grow the business, then I have to have a different network, right? So they're still my friends, but like I need a different group of friends as well. So that's the reason I moved to Dubai. Then I met him, and lucky enough, like he knows other people in Dubai. So that's how I met like all my other friends, and they were all pretty cool. So I've been pretty lucky in that sense. Like, because if like I met your friend, he's probably gonna be similar to you in a way, right? In like terms of vibes and like humor and stuff. So yeah, but then recently I've been trying to go to like more events. That's why I was at the event that you were at.
Yes. You didn't even listen to my talk, did you?
I did Binder.
You did.
Yeah, I
Okay,
did
there you
Binder,
go. Yeah.
financial stuff.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, bro,
Pitch, you got it.
And then, but yeah, man, in Dubai, bro, I think you need to know people, bro. Like you need to know.
What would you do if you don't know anyone?
If you don't know anyone, you need to go to events for sure. But you need to be good at reading people. Not like
Not as good as me. It's scary, right?
Not as good as you or like the body language guy we met.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
It's like you're a
so you
wizard.
need to know when people are bullshitting, people are like trying to fit in, fake it till they make it. You need to know how to like sense, and like people who know how to just have fun, bro. How to talk to people.
That's true.
Like all these things, you need to know the psychology behind all these things, because if not, you're gonna get like people are just gonna fuck you,
True.
bro.
If you want to do well at networking events, but what you need to do, the simplest way is you need to have fun. Because think about it, everyone's at work all day, every day, grinding, and it's so dead, it's so dry. And if you can go to an event, like you saw me at that event, I turned up with like, 4 girls, and they were pretty attractive. And I'm just talking crap outside of my actual thing. I'm just having fun, laughing, messing around. That fun vibe is actually so much better at actually building a relationship versus just being like, hey, bro, do you have a business? Oh, nice. Like, it's the most autistic talk ever. And like, that's what someone does all day. If you can actually be that person that brings a fun vibe, you stand out like that. Because even me, like with Binder, I'm selling software to accounting firms, law firms. Do you know how dry that stuff is to sell? Do you know when I go to those events, everyone's like an accountant and they're like, this isn't to talk shit to accountants, but it's kind of true. Everyone's there just like numbers.
Yeah.
And when you speak to them, you're like, oh my God, this is the most boring thing. I want to shoot myself in the face. But if I actually bring some fun and like bring a bit of a good vibe, it really makes such a big difference. But it's true. It's really true.
Yeah.
Classic. I need to ask about this because I find it so interesting. What about dating in Dubai? How do you filter through the BS girls? Go on, plug Seema.
No. She's gonna watch this, bro.
She'll watch this.
But Seema's great. So dating in Dubai. So I know a lot of people like they hate it.
Yeah.
Right. I will say it's very different from Singapore. 100%. It's more. I think if you told me, Dan, I want to go Dubai and I want to date these girls, that's a fucking stupid move to make.
Facts.
If you tell me like you're coming to Dubai to date, it's ridiculous.
People do the opposite. You leave to buy.
Yeah.
You leave here to date.
Yeah, for sure. Because the girls, even though they say they're traditional, I think all the girls I've met, they all want a provider guy. They want this, they want that. But bro, they're just so materialistic. It's too much. Like you can find a provider guy, there's no problem. But they are so materialistic. And then you also have the problem when you go on dates with this girl. What did the previous guy bring them to, right? Yachts or whatever crazy shit. And then you have to like live up to that. And then the girl in their head like, yeah, but the previous guy, they brought me here and here and here. Like, yeah, but there's more to it than all that stuff, right? So you have to like read through like those girls. I've been on like, I don't know how many dates I've been on, maybe 20 or something. And to be honest, most girls are pretty nice. I've not met like a bitch. Only one girl, she's like the first 5 minutes she asked me like, what car do you drive?
No way.
Yeah, then I asked, what car do you fucking drive? Like,
Respect.
Yeah, man, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of question is that?
Yeah, no.
5 minutes into
I
it.
wouldn't even take that girl on a date. Walk. Walk.
What?
Like.
I mean,
I'm serious.
Yeah,
I'm
you
dead
should.
serious. Yeah.
But what's your experience? What's your
Yeah, well, look,
What's
I
your
put it like this. Why does anyone come to Dubai? We all come here to advance our careers.
Yeah.
And because we value money and like career growth as a primary factor. Me at my stage in my life, I want to grow my career. And so I came here for that. So even the girls that come here with jobs, it's the same thing because they're leaving behind their families. You don't come here for art. You don't come here for culture, for nature. No. If you want nature, go like, I don't know, somewhere in Europe. Same for like the weather. It's too hot half the year.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't come for any other reason except for finances or career.
Yeah.
And so because of that, like you said, people value that materialistic nature of things. Also, the way the city is stacked is it's so easy to spend money here. And just like you said, you go on dates with these girls, there is that expectation almost of like what another guy provided before. That being said, I don't blame them, right? Because, you know, it's funny. I had this girl, she was at mine the other day. She's a friend and she's talking and she's new here. And she was saying, you know, I was speaking to my friends and they were like, oh yeah, like I have a boyfriend and he gives me an allowance of 10,000 dirhams a month. That's like $2,000. Where else in the world, except maybe LA or Miami? It's basically LA, Miami, Dubai. Do you have these girls that like get allowances from what I understand? Maybe somewhere like London. I don't think it happens in Milan. But even then, no, it doesn't. It's weird. But why is that? It's because these girls are in this social circle. All the other girls that they meet that are attractive, this is normal. This is the baseline.
Yeah.
And something that I think I've done a really good job at is, look, I'll be honest, I'm not rich yet. But I date very attractive girls. I don't lead with money at all. Like, I don't.
Yeah, you should never lead with money.
I don't take them to super fancy places. Honestly, I go to pretty, like, normal spots. And I still do really well, even with those models. And I think the reason is actually because I think what all these girls, they might value money as, like, a higher thing. But what all girls value more than that, I argue, is someone's confidence.
Yeah.
And then beneath that is that feeling of being safe with this guy. And because when I'm with girls, I make them feel so safe. Because I genuinely care. That's a big thing. And then I'm pretty confident without any materialistic success, or not materialistic success, but without any like external factors that influence my success or my confidence. And that's a big thing here. You see a lot of dudes, and you probably meet this too, and their confidence comes from something. Where my whole argument is, my whole thesis is, no, confidence should come from within.
Yeah, if it comes from money, it's a problem, bro. Like, I've seen a lot of these Dubai guys, like, they lead with money. It's a problem.
It's a problem, because you just get rinsed later on in life.
Exactly. You're going to get used, bro.
You literally get used and abused. And it's terrible. But I also think I find this stuff really interesting. We can talk about other stuff if you want.
No, I'm fine.
But what I find interesting is because I also know a lot of girls who are 30 plus. And it's like, it's a weird dynamic, this whole dating scene, where 20s to 30s as a girl, it's so easy. So they just have fun. They have all this. And I'm not blaming them. I'm really not. But what happens is post 30, they get this realization of, oh crap, I really want to have children soon. I need to like settle down and find a dude. But a few problems. Firstly, their standards have been set so high over the last 10 years that they find it impossible now to actually find a real partner that actually likes them for who they are. Any guy, and also because a lot of women date up, if you're a girl and you're 30, do you want to date a 25-year-old? Probably not. You want to date a 32, 3, 4, 5, 6, 20, but you want to date a guy older than you, with more success than you, with more whatever. Now, in general terms, if you're a guy that has that stuff together, are you going to marry the 30-year-old or are you going to marry the 25, 24, 23-year-old? Probably, if we're just speaking facts,
then they call
probably
you
the
a
younger
predator.
one. Yeah. No, that's BS.
I know it's BS, yeah.
But like, do you know the like half your age plus 7 thing? You know that used to be... Yeah. So there's like a rule of like what's socially acceptable. And this is actually quite interesting. It's called the Overton window. So do you know what the Overton window is?
I don't know.
The Overton window is basically what is socially acceptable. So for example, a brief example, today it's very normal. What's socially acceptable is that before you meet a guy on a date, you look through his Instagram, right? And it's socially acceptable that you meet a guy on the dating app. 2010, if you met a guy on the internet, everyone would think you're a psycho. Imagine you're a girl and you say to your friends, "Oh, I'm gonna meet this guy. I saw his profile on Tinder." They'd be like, "You're gonna get stabbed.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
wrong
yeah.
with you?" Like, do you see? And that's just in the last 10 years,
Yeah.
so it can change quite quickly. So my point was, back when, the age gap thing used to be, so you date. You're not supposed. Basically, like in Victorian times, it was like, don't date a girl above half your age. So you half your age if you're 40, 20, and then plus
Add
7, so
7.
27. So before it used to be like, that was the calculation and you have to date below it. Now it's like you have to date over it.
I used to date below it.
Yeah, but before,
So
like
it's
this
so if it's
socially,
40
that
and-
was like the limit. So like before, if you dated below,
okay.
that's why it's interesting because it flipped.
Yeah.
Historically, it was like if you date below this level, you're a weirdo or like you're normal.
Yeah.
And if you date above, you're weirdo.
Weird. Yeah.
Now it's like
Now
the
it's flipped.
opposite,
Yeah.
which is quite interesting. For example, if you're 30, the whole half your age plus 7 is you date a 22-year-old. So it's 15 plus 7. Yeah. Before it was like if you're 30, why would you date anything above or any girl above 22? You wouldn't.
Yeah.
But now it's the other way around. And it's quite funny. That's just like a cultural thing.
Interesting. Yeah, I never thought about like the below. I thought it was always above.
No, it's
But I think it's
changed,
because more
unchanged.
women are older and single. So they, bro,
How do you think that's going to change society? I think it's so interesting.
like if women get older,
Well, no, like over the next 20 years with like all this social media stuff as well and how the dating market is.
I would like it to revert back to normal. But things always get worse before they get better.
Define normal.
Normal as in girls go back to prioritizing like dating and marriage. So now it's career and university and boss babe and shit like that. And then they also want the traditional guy, then also want equality. It's like, have you heard what it's called? Schrodinger's feminism?
Explain it.
It's basically a woman that is empowered, but also a victim at the same time. So they say they're empowered with all this boss babe shit, but then but then they also blame men for everything that goes wrong in their life. So they're also empowered, but also a fucking victim at the same time. It doesn't work that way. That's Schrodinger's feminism. And like, I think a lot of, actually not a lot, I think it's a very vocal minority of women actually that act this way. Most women I've met, yeah, they have been brainwashed to a certain extent, but I don't think it's that bad. You can still like, if they meet the right guy, they'll act normal. That's what I think.
I think it's really true. I actually put the blame on, like, to fix it today, I think you just need to focus on men. That's why I'm starting like a dating coaching thing because I have so many friends that are girls and they're nice girls. And I say to them, okay, you meet entrepreneurs, you meet like guys that maybe fit those things on paper. Do you want to spend time with them? No, they're boring. They're weird. It's like all of this stuff. So I'm like, all of you dudes that make money, why are you autistic? Have fun with these girls, you know? Like, then if we fix that side, also, if we like raise men's vibration, this is what I can focus on. And I've started this for a hobby. Then it's like, I'm hoping, because I care about society as a whole, not just like philanthropists. I genuinely do. I'm hoping my thesis is, if I can like push that demand side up or whatever, supply side of like men who are already making money and actually make them attractive in the whole way, like as a rounded guy, then it's going to fix these girls' problems. Because the thing is, look, when I was at university, I dated a girl who was head of the feminist society.
Shit.
No, not shit. Because, like, not in a rude way, but just like, because I wasn't like that, after like a year, they'll change their values because I think they like kind of mold to what you want. And that sounds terrible, but, you know, like, it doesn't really matter. When you're like a strong guy and you really hold the frame and you lead from the front, I think girls want to be led. They want a guy that they can just kind of lean into. Also, what I find interesting is I think what happened was you had marriage as a structure, and it was put there originally to kind of put in these social structures in place. So, for example, a 6 would date a 6 and marry a 6. A 7 would date a 7 and marry a 7. Like, this is how it would work. And marriage would kind of solidify that so that you wouldn't have people kind of jump. Like, you would lock down someone early on.
Yeah.
And then just spend your life with them, which is a nice concept. But what's happened is then because the legal system kind of skewed that, as a guy that has his shit together, you're like, well, this equation doesn't really matter.
There's no incentive for him to get married.
There's no incentive for men. If anything, it's a disincentive, right? And so why would you wouldn't? It's like, well, okay, let me just like all on black. Like, it's like a roulette wheel. And you want like, there's 30 things, one is red and everything else is black, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bet on red.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the cards are stacked against you, so people don't bother. And then what happens is, we've just kind of gone into this little like societal loop downwards, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I like what you said, like men need to lead from the front. Like everything is men's fault, to be honest.
I
Like,
think so.
and most of it at least.
I think so.
Men need to lead from the front, hold their values, stand their ground, don't be Sims. I think Sims is the biggest shit. Like, bro, no, it's like, I think that's the... Well, yeah.
Wallah.
Wallahi, the biggest problem of today's age is Sims, bro.
You think?
100%.
Give me an example of simping you see in Dubai.
In Dubai...
Even though our mic man's laughing.
I think I can't give you an example in Dubai, but even as simple as like, bro, why do you think OnlyFans is so big? It's Sims, bro. It's Sims. Like, and then there's these guys following shit tons of like random women on the internet for no reason at all, and then like putting them on the pedestal like this girl is better than me because of how she looks like. Purely because of how she looks like, and I will worship her in a sense. The worst part is she doesn't even find that attractive, bro. Like girls hate that shit.
It's ruined both sides.
Yeah, exactly.
So shooting yourself in the foot.
Like,
you want to know a great question to ask on a date?
What?
Say to a girl, "What do you bring to the table except for your looks?"
Then they'll like.
Because like no, try that in Dubai. Try it.
Yeah.
Because all the girls, they all say, "Oh man, I'm pretty." And I'm like, "Yeah, but all the girls are pretty." So.
True.
Like crickets.
What do you think is the correct answer? What are you looking for?
For a girl?
Yeah.
And it's hard. Like, I'm honest. It's hard to find this in Dubai. I'll give you a real example, right? And I'll speak. I won't name drop, but one of my friends, that guy we both know who lives in the marina, his girlfriend is like, she's really nice. She's really great. Yeah. And she's a good friend of mine. And so I went on a date with a girl not too long ago. I've said this story before, but I went on a date and I said to her, if you had infinite money, how would you spend your perfect day? Good question, right? What do you think she said? Want to guess? Or should I just go for it?
Just go for it.
Go for it. She said, I wake up, have like a coffee, go yoga. Fine. Then maybe go Mall of Emirates, buy a handbag. I'm like, okay. Like Dior, something like this. I'm like, all right. This is like your normal day. Then maybe we get lunch on like Koya, like nice beach club. I'm like, okay. Then what? Then we go like maybe like a boat or something like this, little boat tour. I'm like, okay, because it ain't gonna be a cheap boat. And then I like those fancy dinners, like maybe near like Burj or something like this.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you're telling me is that the things that you value are, except for your fitness, which is fine, and morning coffee, you value spending money in malls, you value spending money in fancy beach clubs, spending money on going on a fancy yacht because just walking along the beach ain't good enough. And then you want to go to a fancy ass dinner where the food, I argue sometimes the food's not even that much better. You can actually get better food at places like a tenth of the price, honestly. And in my head, I'm like, that's trash. Like, I don't want that. That's like, you just show me your true colors. So we ain't going to date. Whereas my friend, who's another friend's girlfriend, she was like, I asked the same question to her. And like, no, didn't give any context, just like curiosity. She was like, like wake up, morning run, fine, same. Get like an acai bowl. I'm like, okay, more low key. And she's like, oh, like, call my family. I'm like, there's a green flag. Then it's like, oh yeah, and then maybe like read a book or something like this. I'm like, more green flags,
Yeah.
And then she was like, honestly, like I don't know, like chill, maybe do something like that, maybe cook or something. I'm like, whoa, green flags, like a normal girl. That's, I think, something that, because it shows me, without her actually saying it, it shows me that what she values is being healthy, actually having like a nice relationship with her family, even though they don't live here, like calling them, spending time with them, cooking or whatever, like just taking care of herself, like reading a book shows that she's like driven, actually wants to improve, versus just spending cash.
Yeah.
That's a like clear, distinct day and night of like a girl that I would date properly, and a girl that like I would date, but not properly. Not properly. Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's sad, but it's true. And I think what's difficult, like you said, is a lot of these girls, what happens is they come here, they just get pushed into this Dubai mindset of being a hot girl. And then the guys that they end up dating, because like I'm one of them, we're like, we don't value it. Like, I say this to them up straight up. Like, I ain't gonna settle down with you.
Yeah.
Which is savage, but it's true. It's like you've shot yourself in the foot because you value all these things. And like, the problem is, if a girl really values money, there's always someone richer.
Correct.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
And even Jeff Bezos, what's more important than money, I'd argue, is status. So even that, that picture of like Jeff Bezos at this party with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend's looking at Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because status is more important.
Yeah.
So my point being is that if you have a girl that chases those things, you're just going to lose at some point. You're playing like a game that's stacked against you, and life's long. You're going to settle down at 20. She might leave you at 30, 40, 50, whatever. But that's not a long-term quality relationship.
Yeah.
What does Ty say on this stuff? Have you spoken to him about it?
Ty, what did he...
Because I think he has like children, a wife. Or
yeah,
like,
he has
I know he has children.
He has children, yeah. He has a few, but yeah.
No, it's fine.
He has a few girlfriends and stuff. But so Ty, one thing I really agree with Ty
I'm
is
interested in his take.
He didn't really talk a lot about dating, but he talked about how the importance of choosing an intelligent woman.
100%.
Yeah, so that was what I resonated with. Like all of this, like red pill, fresh and fit, all this that like doesn't matter if she's dumb.
Trash
like bro, what the fuck, bro?
IQ is heritable.
Exactly, that's what Ty said as well. Like IQ is heritable.
Gee.
Yeah, man. So
it's true.
And I always dated girls who are, I like dating girls who are a little bit more intelligent.
Me too.
Like I don't want a dumb girl that I can't even talk
What are you going to talk about at the dinner
exactly,
table?
right? But a lot of these red pill guys.
How's your dinner? Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Great in-depth conversation.
Yeah, so intelligence is like a fucking like important thing. Of course, looks. I mean, that's a girl's value as well.
I say looks gets you in the door, but other things keep
exactly. So, and your personal values, her relationship with her parents. So if I'm on a date and then she says, "I hate my father," or something like that. Even if you hate your father, you wouldn't tell me. Like, why would you tell me? Like, that's a red flag to me.
That's fair. But what about girls? So one of my friends, super not like different one. She's like dating an Emirati hit now. And I honestly like as a quality, she's like a quality woman. I'll put that out there. But her dad wasn't around when she was growing up.
Okay.
And she basically doesn't have any father. Now I spoke to her about this stuff because I find it interesting. And she was like, look, ideally I would have had a father figure, but I didn't. But what I do know now is like in my life, how'd I put it? She knows the importance of like having a future father figure for her children. And she really values that. I also actually dated a girl last year who she had like a terrible relationship with her father, but her family was like really broken from the start, basically. And she was like, look, like if I have children down the line, for me, what's so important is that they're raised in a healthy environment and like the parents are together. And I was like, okay, so that actually just because before I used to be like, no parent, like parents aren't together, ciao. But there's actually nuance to it.
Of course.
What's really important is the mindset and like where they're future looking. But it's hard because when we're generalizing,
the thing is,
sweeping statements,
there's always like anomalies, right? Like,
that's true.
There's always girls that you can swing both ways. Like if you don't have a father, you could hate like men in general, or you could just go the other way. Like you understand the importance, but like how you raise your kids, it's generally like how you have been raised. So why would I choose like someone who did not have that good family around them versus someone that didn't? Even if that person has a good mindset. Like if I had a choice, I would choose the other one. But maybe there's the Asian.
But is it a maths equation? This is also a question.
It's not.
Because I think this is what people forget. Is I think what people do today, and it's because of stuff like like the social media stuff. Yeah. We now have this comparison bias, and like dating apps don't help too.
Yeah.
Like what is a dating app? It's literally like a resume of like, okay, 5'10", this, you know? And even when we go on dates, we sometimes think of it like that. Whereas really, it's much more nuanced than that. And I'd argue, especially because like a lot of the stuff that's pushed on Twitter, I'm going to talk about money Twitter, Twitter, for instance. I want to teach people how to find their ideal partner, but I'm just going to be real, straight up real. Unless you're literally like maybe Andrew Tate or like one of these like top dogs, right?
Yeah.
This is content, like a bit out there. This is a common thing that guys want. Girl who's, I don't know, like let's say, or I like tall girls, but okay. Girl that's like super fit, right? Mm-hmm. Incredibly attractive. What's the percentage of that? Like low. Like the super hot girls that you want to date is
yeah.
like a low percentage. Then add on top of that, you want them to be really nice. Then add on top of that you want them to never have had a boyfriend before and be like a virgin. Okay, add that on top. Now you want this girl to also be like, I don't know, have come from a perfect family. Okay, add that on top. Super high IQ, add that on top. Now, like, you're making your chances like almost impossible.
The thing is, most men don't even deserve that, bro.
That's the thing.
That's
They
the
don't
truth.
even but it's two things. One is like, I think a lot of guys don't value like actually deserve that because they're not on that level themselves. But two, I'm just being realistic. That's really hard to find, bro. That's really, really hard to find. And if we're being real, like if you want children, I also don't, and this is like maybe contentious, I also don't think it's necessarily healthy for guys just to run through girls either. I don't think it's healthy for a high body count for guys or girls. What I think is healthy for a guy is the ability to have a high body count. There's a difference there.
Yeah.
Because it actually, I really believe it does reduce pair bonding ability for both parties.
Ability to cheat, but don't cheat. It's the same thing.
It's true. You want the girl to feel a bit on edge,
Yeah.
but also safe. And I think my point is that you're stacking the cards so against your favor, you could end up meeting missing a woman that is actually really high quality woman and messing it up.
Yeah.
And I'm also saying that because I've done that in the past. You know,
Yeah.
there was a girl, and like honestly looking back, I was like, yeah, she's like perfect, but I messed that one up, and so I have to live with that.
I see.
And like finding that though, there are diamonds in the rough, you know. But sometimes you just need to look past some of these surface level fixes and just be like, okay, does this person, do we have a, I think it's like more simple. Like, is this person smart and like those basic things? And then do we want the same thing out of life? Are our values aligned?
Yeah.
And then if you lead from the front with a strong frame and you are the leader and you keep it fun, you're going to live a nice, long, happy life together. And then you can be in a rocking chair together, looking at all these other losers that are like, this is what's going to happen in 10 years. Do you know how many Twitter money bros are going to be like, yeah, I have this Bugatti and this and this and this. Loads of guys are going to get rich. But what's going to happen is they're just going to be with like trash girls.
Yeah.
And then they're going to go to like 50 and 60 and the competition's still going to be there from these guys. But if you're a high quality woman who's like 20, this is my argument. High quality woman who's 20. Do you want to date the rich 50-year-old or do you want to date the rich 30-year-old?
I think 30.
Probably 30.
Yeah.
I'd argue. I really think it is because there is like that age gap.
Yeah.
And guys say it doesn't matter. I think it's cope.
No,
I think
it matters.
I think there is actually like for the really high quality women,
Yeah.
because they know what they have stuff that they bring to the table too because they're super. There's like high value.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying to dudes is don't wait too long.
Yeah. I agree with that. I wouldn't want to be 40, 50 and single. Yeah.
I'm boring, man. Like
Yeah.
phases of life, grow up.
Yeah. I agree with you. Never thought of it that way actually.
I think people forget about it because you say if you tie your value just to like materialistic things of like, okay, but at 40 I'll be richer, I'll be more handsome, I'll be this. Yeah, but like also older and like don't you want a girl that builds with you?
I think also like this is just my opinion.
Yeah, well that's what how
Yeah,
podcasts
so
work.
it's like I think as I got older, I realized more
You're
girls liked me.
27?
Yeah, 27.
Yeah.
So more girls liked me as I grew older. I saw like it's just I don't know.
Handsome looking dude, no homo.
For me, maybe. Like, so, and then I realized maybe it's not because just the age. So people think like, okay, you grow older, you get richer, look more mature. But I think it's also girls get more attracted to. I'm not saying like 20 years older, but just older in general.
100%.
Because you have more stories. You're more confident. You know more things about yourself. You're more experienced. So all these things play into factor, not just your fucking like age and your material. So I think that's my opinion. I don't know whether that is true or not.
I think it's true, but I think a lot of thing though is that you get more confident over time. Like if we're generalizing, a 30-year-old is more confident than a 20-year-old because he's been through it.
Yeah.
Like I 100% am way more confident than I was at 22 or
Same.
21, and you're the same.
Yeah.
And so with age comes that confidence, and girls really like that. I think that's a big part too.
Yeah.
And also with these experiences, you can like you have the experience to be like no, like get lost and like say no to women because you've had that experience that has come through the age and the time, and you got the wisdom.
Exactly. Yeah. And more stories. Girls love stories for some reason.
What's an interesting story you've had recently?
For me,
Anything. Doesn't have to be relationships. We can another topic.
I don't know when I told you when I first came to Dubai.
Tell me. When did you move here?
About a year ago. A little bit more than a year.
Okay, cool.
A little more than a year. So I was coming to Dubai, and I signed up for a gym. That was like the first week in Dubai. I was like, okay, I only know one guy here, So I need to make more friends. So I can make friends at the gym. So I thought, like, just talk to
Which
people.
gym? 7.
Warehouse gym.
Warehouse Alcuz?
Alcuz. Yeah. So have you been there?
Yeah, I go there.
Oh,
You
that-
train there?
I used to. Then the traffic got really bad.
Oh,
Then
yeah, you're in JVC.
Yeah, JVC. So I went there and just working out, and then there was this girl beside me, and then she was just using the machine. So I thought, okay, let's make some friends.
Yeah.
Nice blonde girl. She's pretty like good looking. So I was like, okay, let's just talk to her. So I talked to her. I was like, hey, how long have you been in Dubai? What are you doing? And then she was like, with a Russian accent, I was these. Then I was like, okay. So I met a Russian.
was this. Привет.
Yes. Then I was like, oh, okay, I met a Russian girl.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything
Yeah.
about.
Come on, let's go.
I didn't know anything
Давай
about
по-русски.
Dubai culture.
Да.
I was just talking to her normally. And then she was like telling me, oh, I've been working out for this long. She was talking about what she does, real estate, and all this stuff. And then I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then she said, like, she moves around a lot. And I was asking her, like, what do you do when you go out on dates and stuff like that? How do you find the guys? And she said, usually I go to clubs and stuff like that. And I was like, weird. Okay. I was like, and then we were just talking about her favorite clubs, where to go and stuff like that. And then at the end, she was like, I'm very expensive. I was like, what? Then I was so lost. And then she expected me to know what that means.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, are you made of diamonds or something? What the fuck does that even mean?
You said that to her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just joking with her.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I'm just very expensive. And then I was like, and I was so lost. I didn't expect to meet like an escort.
Yeah.
The first time I came to Dubai. So, and then I was like, do you mean like dinner or what? What the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah.
Then she's like, no. Then she just looked down. Expensive.
No way.
Yeah, she's like, expensive. I was like, fuck me, I'm out. So I was like, you enjoy your day. So that was the day I decided I'm never going to talk to a Russian girl ever again. I was like, Russians, no more.
Russians have a really high divorce rate, one of the highest in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
And I thought they were more traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know why it is?
No.
A bit of history?
Yeah.
All right. Last 100 years comes from like the last 100 years. Basically, they had the Soviet Union collapsed. Well, when the Soviet Union collapsed, everyone that had any money, it all just disappeared overnight. Dead poverty, the amount of starvation, basically just being Russian for the lot, or like Eastern European, like Russian or Ukrainian too, like really, really shit. And so what that means is these girls carry generational trauma. A lot of them don't realize it. What it also means is that because their parents, their grandparents had no food on the table or I've been to Russia, I've been to Ukraine. A lot of the houses there, like, it's pretty fucking shit. It's what it looks like, and you see like the Instagram, like Soviet style. It's shit.
Yeah. You
don't want to like grow up in that. So because of that, love language for pretty much all of these Eastern European girls is one of the primary ones. It's always gift giving or materialistic things. That's why it comes from generational trauma. Fact.
Okay. Genetic.
It's 100% passed on. It's 100, and that's why I it's not fact, but I really think that that's a big part of why they have such high divorce rates. Because when you place, and this is why I never go for girls like that, when you place money or finances as like a primary thing that you look for in a guy, there's always someone better than you.
Yeah.
You know? Even like, I'm going to use Tate as the example, but even he has a Bugatti. Is there someone not richer than him? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay. So like, you know what, like that's not exactly ideal. And even if you're a guy and you have like an amazing quality of life, like you could drive a Ferrari, like live on the park, or whatever that means to you, right? There's always someone with the better car next to you.
100%.
You could park, like, especially in Dubai, you see it so much. You park your Ferrari outside and you're like, I'm the G. And someone parks a Ferrari next to you that's got like number plate 2.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, that number plate's more than my whole net worth, you know?
Yeah.
And now you feel like trash.
Exactly.
And the girls see that. And that's why careful with those girls.
You know,
that's from experience.
Funny, speaking to Ty in France.
Yeah.
And he literally went on stage and he said, never marry a Russian or Ukrainian girl. They'll take all your money.
There you go.
And then there was a guy with a Ukrainian wife, bro.
No
just
way.
there. And then we were just looking at him.
No way. What
Then
did he
just
say?
like, no, he didn't say anything. He's a very like dead on kind of guy.
Fine.
Yeah. So we were just, and then she had like Cartier on and diamonds, and like we were just looking at her like, fuck, maybe it's true.
Really be careful.
Yeah.
Really be careful.
Obviously, there's anomalies. Not all Russian Ukrainians like that.
Yeah,
Just
we're
want to put that out
generalising.
there. You're generalizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Don't worry, moja devushka. There's hope for you, darling. I speak Russian, so I end up spending time with Russian girls.
You actually speak Russian?
Da.
You learned it?
Yeah, I originally learned it not for Russian girls. I found history interesting. I found communism. Okay, we'll go into this. I originally learned it because I went to Cuba and I was like, whoa, communism's crazy. This is quite interesting. Then I started reading up a bunch of Russia and the Soviet Union and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And I like exposing myself to different cultures. So I was lucky at school. I had the ability to learn Russian, so I just learned it. Then I had a startup based in Kazakhstan, Astana, shout out. And I paid for my own Russian tutor. So I got decent. I can read and write it, but I'm like conversation.
Yeah.
You know? It's funny, like I'll speak to Russian girls and I'll say one or two words and they're like, just another dude, like another dickhead that's like can say privyet, paka. And then I actually like speak a bit and they're like, but what? You speak Russian? I'm like, yes, darling, I do. Not problem. Без problem. And they're like, whoa. So it actually changes things.
You speak English, Russian, Italian?
And Spanish.
Fuck. Okay.
I'm not that smart. I just look pretty.
Nah, bro, if you can learn multiple languages, you're pretty smart, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's proven.
There's some IQ in this brain. It doesn't look it, but there is actually some
none at all.
intelligence here.
Like,
I know.
just from looking.
Well, you said I look like 32. Like I've been ran through. Before this started, he was like, yeah, you look like above 30. I was like, oh, okay, I'm aging terribly.
Shit.
You did say that. I think it's true.
I did say that.
It's true.
No, you look 29.
It's lack of sleep. I'm so stressed. No, I'm not stressed. What's the mindset of being in Dubai? Capitalism world. First, that's why I'm bringing it up, because communist world is a very different collectivist mindset.
So, what's the mindset like? You talking about mine? Or
Yeah, let's go with your mindset. Oh, before that,
Yeah.
you went to Ty Lopez's mastermind in south of France.
yeah,
What was your biggest takeaway from that?
don't marry Russian. No, yes.
You can say that.
No, biggest takeaway. But I'm more business, so I take away a lot of business stuff.
Will Brown watches this. I see you. He does.
He does?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he said he was talking about the future of businesses. He said there's only going to be AI and personal brands. So that really stuck with me.
You ready for a thought experiment?
Yeah.
Let's get a bit deep. Well, there's some assumptions. There's big assumptions here. Do you think we're far away from generalized AI?
What is generalized AI?
Basically, AI that has kind of, let's say, super intelligence.
Super intelligent? I don't think we're that far away.
We're not.
Yeah.
Do you also agree that AI is something that grows exponentially?
Yeah, because of the law. There's something called Moore's law, I think. Right?
What happens when you have super genius AI with like 1 million IQ, and then it like gets to the point where I think what I mean by generalized AI is like basically that it's sentient in a way, or like it can actually think, and you can even see like some of this already. Like it's a bit scary when I speak to my like AI robot, you know?
Yeah.
What do you think will happen in that? Because it could happen this year when AI is like so dominant and so good that it just starts to think by itself in a way and then just improve itself. Because what can happen, like not even theory, like genuinely, I don't think we're too far away from that. This is a bit scary. But if we've got AI that's really clever and then it can teach itself and improve itself to be really clever, it's going to improve much faster than humans can improve it.
Yep.
Then what happens is you get basically a superhuman being, aka God, that can literally like hack into any system, because like I've used AI to code and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know? It's pretty crazy. So now you can have like this superhuman robot thing that can hack into whatever system it wants.
Yep. Blockchain, everything.
Blockchain, it can probably manipulate financial markets easily because, you know, now it's got all the money, it's got all the power because of the money. What's going to happen? Any thoughts? End of the world? I'm holding on to this.
The only thing I hope that does not happen during my lifetime, because I can't even imagine what it would do. I will say, because not only you have the super intelligence, but you also need to power it. Powering it is not the easy part,
yes,
right? So I'm just hoping that we won't find a power for it. They can build it, maybe it's like some computer or something, but it's going to cost shitload of money. That's not viable.
What about the cloud?
I mean,
If it can make its own money,
the AI,
yeah,
that's
it's kind of scary.
a problem.
This is why I drive a motorbike with no electronics.
Smart. Yeah. Don't drive Tesla.
Tesla's gonna kill you.
Yeah. You know, Tesla is not a car company. It's a data company.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is that a tax thing?
It collects data.
Wow.
Yeah, for Elon. It's not a car company.
No way.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Elon Musk?
I think...
Well, you can't say this because you can get banned on Twitter.
No, I don't give a fuck. I got banned on Instagram once already.
Ah.
So, I think he's obviously super smart. You can't say he's dumb,
I agree.
right? But I think he should stay out of politics. That's my opinion. I think he is... The thing about money and status, I feel like it corrupts you sometimes and you want more. And what's more than money and status? It's power. When you have the power in the government, that's almost as elite as you can get. And then he's like supporting all this right-wing stuff. He supported the AfD in Germany. It's like I don't agree with all that stuff. So I think he just stay a businessman, put us on Mars or something like that. But when it comes to politics, I don't think he should be in it. Yeah, my thought on it. But
what do you think drives you?
drives me. I'm very. My goal is always towards freedom, like freedom. My family.
Do you not have freedom already?
I do have freedom now, but maybe it's the fear of losing the freedom, fear of going back, right? But it's my family, my mom, my dad. I think that drives me a lot, and then I want to have kids, so I'm really trying to plan my future for that. So that I'm really driven by relationships. So family, hopefully a wife, and then my friends back in Singapore. So that really drives me. Material stuff, don't really have that many stuff. I want a nice car, a nice house. That's basically all I ever need. But yeah, I'm driven by relationships.
Where would you settle down?
I've thought about it, bro. But I don't know. I really don't know. Because would I settle in Dubai?
What about if you import a girl?
If I import a girl?
As in like something that like I know a lot of guys do and it works very well. You should just go away for a few months, find a girl that you want to settle down with and just bring her here.
I probably would just find a girl here, to be honest. I think it's possible.
It is possible.
Right, I've met a lot of nice girls as well. But would I say it's ideal for dating? No, we just need to find the right one.
It's harder.
Because I'm not really interested in like going overseas and meeting, unless maybe dating apps. But that's also another problem. But yeah, settling down in Dubai, I would do it unless it gets too crowded. Education needs to be okay at least.
Education is good here.
Yeah, so if anything, I just move to Abu Dhabi or Oman or something. I like the Middle East. I wouldn't move anywhere else. Singapore is just fucked. Right. So it's too expensive. It's almost, bro, the houses in Singapore is twice as much as Dubai.
Really?
Twice, yeah. Cars are so...
Cars have a crazy import tax there, no?
In Singapore?
Yeah.
It's insane. Every car you buy, it's $100,000 extra. So my Prius back home is $150,000. That's crazy. It's fucking insane. Yeah. So it's so expensive. It's the most expensive city in the world. I like the people. I like the culture.
Does it raise your standards as a man being there more than here? Or does here raise your standards more?
Here. Because in Singapore, it's more... I think in Dubai, it's more like everyone comes here to make money. Singapore, it's like...
They have money.
It's that the government has money. But the people, it's spread, like the rich and poor, it's so big. And like the wages don't really go up and stuff like that.
Now you're in different rooms.
Yeah.
Because you didn't start from the top, you started from the bottom, right? Which
average.
Fine, average. I really respect that. What are the biggest differentiating factors in terms of what runs people at the top and like the mindset and the thought processes? Like you go to these masterminds, meet all these people. How do those people think in comparison to people, just normal people?
Normal people. The first thing I would say is they don't look at themselves as a victim. So I think that's really number one. In any country, Singapore, you go to America, you have groups of people that always think that they're the victim. And sometimes it may be true. Sometimes it really may be true. You've been born into this shit circumstance. You're getting fucked. But the best thing you can do for yourself is think you're not a victim. Because that's the only way you get out of it, right? You have to be the change in your family. If someone has to be, it has to be you.
It's true.
And the only way to do that is to take utter self-accountability for everything. Everything is my fault. I'm the only one that can change it. And that's the way to move. I think that's number one. Number two is how you view money. You cannot view money as evil. If you view money as evil, then you're dead. Because money is just a tool. It's neither good
a multiplier effect.
Yeah, it's neither good or evil. It's neutral, right? If you're a dick before you got money, you're gonna be a dick.
100%.
So you have to view money differently. And then also, I think one more thing would be start being more self-aware. More self-aware, more into trends. Like look at what's going on in the world. How did this person make his money? What product did he sell? How did he sell it? Yeah. So if you look at this new coffee shop that did well, why did that coffee shop had more people than the other one?
Barista.
maybe there's a hot chick in there.
Damn
right? Maybe it's their social media strategy.
Yeah.
So start asking why things are happening instead of saying, fuck, maybe it's just luck. It's not. Usually it's luck.
Are you self-aware enough?
I would like to think I'm self-aware, but usually when people say that, they're not really self-aware.
No, you don't know.
So
what's something you're trying to work on right now?
In terms of business or myself?
Any.
In business, it's hiring. I'm so bad at hiring.
Why?
The one thing I'm very bad at hiring is because I look at somebody else, I tell them, hey, do this. And if they don't do it as good as me, I just fire them and then I just do it myself. So I'm in this constant cycle of getting someone in, they're not living up to the standards, I kicking them out. I'm like, I just do it myself. So I actually.
But you know what's hard because you're never gonna find someone as good.
You just need to train them. So I talked to Patrick Bet-David about this. Okay, cool. And then he said to read this book by Peter Drucker. I can't remember the name of it. And then you have to understand that it will take a while before they get, as good as you. And you have to realize, Gary Vee said this, your employees, they don't look at the business the same as you because you are going to love the business a lot more. You're going to work for it a lot more. The employee is not, right? They're just thinking of the money, the clock out. True. So you have to be able to account for all that stuff if you want to hire people. So that's what I'm working on.
On personal level?
Personal level, maybe, I don't know, finding a wife maybe. I think I'm trying to work on myself to be that guy to get a wife. Yeah, more family oriented. I think I want to get a wife within the next 3 years.
What's your ideal woman? Let's put it out there in the universe.
Describe
her and then we'll end.
Of course, good looking, right? Pretty, nice ass. Yeah.
There you go. I like sticks. I like tall sticks.
Really?
Yeah.
Weird, bro.
I know.
Need a little bit of. Okay, anyway.
Fuck it. Anorexia. Early 2005 Victoria's Secret model agent.
Shit.
That's what I like. Keep going.
Traditional.
Yeah.
Family oriented. Intelligent. Has accountability. I think it's very unattractive if a girl doesn't have accountability. Sense of humor. She can stand my shit. Like, not politically correct. So those are my thing. But it's in order.
Seema, I found your boyfriend.
Seema, you're listening? Yeah. I'm just one text away.
I'm kidding.
I mean, she's more traditional, right? Yeah. So I'm looking for that kind of girl. I don't really care about her career that much.
No, that's fair.
Yeah. Values, bro. Yeah.
Well, time's up. You've been listening to Pandora's Box. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Instagram, Dan Khan Legacy, or you can go to my podcast on YouTube, Khan Quest.
Have a sick day. Ciao.